Today we are going to be doing cheer hair with a ponytail that is teased so it sits above the bow. One thing that you need to think about when doing your athlete's hair is the type of hair they have and the work that's going to go into everything. Sophia has very, very fine hair, but she has a lot of it. So the night before competitions, I prep her hair by using a volumizing mousse, and then I round brush everything out so that it gives her some volume, and then I go back in and flat iron her ends so that her ends are nice and sleek. I prefer the L'Oreal Volume Envy mousse, but I really don't care what you use. I just like to use volumizing products. If your athlete has curly hair, obviously this would be the point that you would smooth everything out. I prefer to do it the night before. It just saves a step for me. I also like to spray dry shampoo everywhere through the hair, and I also like to work with a dry hairspray. So this is a dry workable hairspray. So a workable hairspray means like we can keep spraying it on and working it through the hair, and it's not going to get too heavy, sticky, tacky. It's going to give some hold to the hair, but not get tacky that we can't comb through it. So I like to spray that through Soph's hair because, again, her hair's fine and we kind of need to plump it up a little bit. So that's the night before. So now we're at morning of the competition. We are going to start with a ponytail, and I like to take a paste and put all around the edges to smooth out any flyaways. A lot of girls have flyaways, I have flyaways. This will just help smooth everything out. So I just work some paste through my hands, whether it's your husband or your son's product that they use to kind of help make their hair piecier. Those are the products that you can use, but that will help with keeping those little flyaways back. The next thing I like to do is use a boar bristle brush, because a boar bristle brush is not going to make lines in the hair. Things that have teeth like this are going to create lines, and that's going to be harder to smooth out. All right, so then what we'll do is we want the ponytail to sit up through here, because obviously we want to be able to see the bow and still have room for the hair to come above that. You don't want it too far forward, because then your athlete's hair will keep flopping forward, but right about here is a good spot. So we'll go through and just go and get that ponytail in. And Sophia gets a nice facelift as we're doing this.
Ow! This hurts.
This is usually the point where she's yelling at me. But so we'll go through, we'll put our ponytail in, and see, I try to work out as many lumps as I can ahead of time. If there's some, you can always work them out later, but I like to get as many out as possible. So we'll go through, we'll put your ponytail in. And then this is the point where you want to kind of look and see, does that look like a good spot to have the ponytail? I also like to take my teasing brush and go over all the little flyaways that are in the hair so that everything's nice and smooth back. Your dry hairspray is a great hairspray for this, because we can spray this on and then use your teasing brush to work out the lumps. So then I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, that seems centered to her head. I feel like it's high enough. I brush through her ponytail, and see how her ponytail is nice and straight and sleek? That's how you want it to look. Now comes the bow. She's a little sassy today.
No.
So, bow is going to go right in through here. So then we'll go through and put the bow in. And I like to wrap it around as many times as I can and as tight as I can. She usually yells that it's too tight, but hey, as long as it stays in, we don't need bows flying off at the competition. So there we go. Now we have the bow in. Again, I'm brushing out any knots in the ponytail, anything like that. So this is where the teasing comes in. So if you want to come around, Christian, grab that and bring it around. So I am spraying the ponytail to add some texture to the hair. And what I like to do is start underneath, and I take sections straight across through here, and this is how I start my teasing. If you do like angled sections or like crazy sections, that's when your like bump or poof or whatever the heck we want to call it gets a little lopsided. If you keep your sections straight, it'll lay better. And this is where your stiffer, stickier hairspray will come into play. I'm loving Elevate from Euphoria, whatever you're using. I know like a lot of people use Big Sexy Hair, whatever it is that you're doing. So I'm spraying the piece of hair first, and then now going in with my teasing brush. Now this is teasing, controlled teasing, so back combing. So teasing like going down like this. We're not teasing the whole strand of hair so that it gets to the end so the ends get fuzzy. We just kind of want to put a little bit of lift in there. And then you'll go in and spray. Now these underneath sections, you can tease a little bit farther down than the front because this is going to be the foundation for that bump that you're putting in the hair or your ponytail or teased part, whatever we're referring to it as. And then next section. Really, really thick, heavy hair, take as fine as sections as possible. I'm spraying with that dry spray again. Combing through and going in and back combing. And see how that stays down here and not so much on the ends? And then we'll go through and we'll take another section. I know this gets monotonous, but this is very important to do. Sorry if my sleeves are in the way, I'm trying to keep them out. If your athlete has super, super fine hair, a lot of people are really loving doing a powder. Some companies require you to dump that in, and that's gonna give some more texture and hold. L'Oreal's True Grip, you can kind of smoke it in the hair, and it'll give some hold. So that's another option too if you're looking for products to use. Again, I don't care what you use, I'm just telling you what I'm used to. Next section. When I'm doing this too, I also think about the fact that I can make this really big. If it's really big, I can always flatten it out. But if it's not big enough to begin with, we gotta start back at that first section. So again, we're back combing, and then this is the part where you're kind of doing less back combing on the whole strand. You're just concentrating again down at the root. So like even less. This one we came up higher, this one we're dropping down a little bit, because this is getting closer to what you're seeing from the front of the hair. And then we have our next one. Spray. Tease, tease, tease. And again, notice how like I'm constantly combing those ends out so they stay nice and smooth. That's where your prep work the night before is going to be very, very important. You don't want to cheat this part either. I know we're getting closer and closer to the front, but you don't want to take too wide of a section and then it fall out, because that's when you see the girls on the mat where they have that one piece of hair that keeps flopping. It's because they took too big of a section here and there wasn't enough back combing going on. I love tail combs for sectioning. I'm sure you can find these anywhere, but they're heaven to me. Sometimes the end of the teasing comb or teasing brush isn't good to section with, just personal preference. I know you guys are probably looking at me going, why does she have so much stuff? But I love products and stuff, so. All right, now we're on our last one. This is the one we want to spray, 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 dry hairspray so it's not too wet. The reason, again, that I like dry hairspray is because it's not sticky. Now we got Sophia's bird's nest on top of her hair. And this is where we can start taming everything. So taking your back combing brush and just kind of working everything down so it looks nice. Because we want to hide all that stuff that we put in there. Make sure you're not combing through your sections, you're just kind of surface combing. And check the bow, like these bows, because they're new, aren't really like, they're really stiff, so we kind of have to keep moving those around. So look at the sides, see how through here you can still see all that teasing. You want to come to the sides and make sure you fix that so that that looks pretty. Look at your ponytail from every angle because that's what people are going to be seeing out on the mat. Yes, they're flipping around and they're going to be able to see some of that stuff, but we want to make sure that from the beginning you're not seeing it. If they flip around on the mat and you see it, who cares? And then I'm big into Shine and again products. I always end up spraying some Shine spray all over to give nothing but shine. And then smooth out flyaways. This is where you can add your stiffer hairspray to the little flyaways. Spray your brush with hairspray. Check the underneath. This is where a lot of flyaways are. It's never going to be completely perfect. Let's get real. They sweat, their hair starts curling up or the flyaways come out, but let's start from the beginning with it actually looking good. All right, could we look at everything then? And there you have it. And then show all the way down. And there is your teased ponytail. Thank you. Thank you.